I see you.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Great. Yeah, I get to see you now. Yeah, great, great. So how are you doing, Christian? You were asking
Doing
me-
okay.
You're doing fine. You're doing nowadays. You were telling me on the email that you're doing your architecture masters or something like that.
Yeah,
Your fa-
I've just started and it's kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy. What does it concern? It doesn't concern any birds or mice or dolls.
No, it's an attempt to gain another skill which could lead to employment because being an independent animator doesn't necessarily always lead to a survival income.
So it's more like a social work.
Well, I wish it lead to survival income. Most of the income I've made has been working for other people, on their films, but that's a little unstable.
Yeah, I know. I've been a freelancer for 3 years, and nowadays I have to. I was a freelancing animator for 3 years, and now I have to get back to do some, some crappy graphic design, like even underwear boxes, things like that. Just to hold on. You know how is it? I mean, it's daily pain, but
Yeah, I do.
So yeah, one of the questions actually, well, we can start from there. Is just I knew that reading some, I don't know, I was investigating just a little bit because I saw the movie maybe like 7 years ago, like the Red String for the first time maybe 7 years ago, and I was wondering, like, this took maybe 12 years or something. Maybe was it actually like 12 years in counting in weekends? It was like a weekend project, right? Or was
Well, I would have chunks of time to work on it, like and I try.
Yeah.
Let's see. I had the part-time jobs, so it kind of was weekend, but I do long weekend. And then when I went freelance animation, I would only work on it when I had long breaks because the weekends, when you're working 60 hours a week, your weekend is basically do laundry, clean, and sleep.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that. So meanwhile, you were freelancing, like I read somewhere. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I read somewhere that meanwhile you were also working in animation, but
Yeah.
you were doing stop motion as well, or maybe 2D, or
Yeah, from about 1999 until 2008, I worked on a lot of stop motion projects, mostly with Spacepass films, but for a few other companies as well.
Great.
So
That's awesome.
it would,
Because
it would lead to.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Maybe we're crossing dialogues because the timing between Q&A it's not the same because there's this thing called kilometers. There's thousands between us, and maybe we're crossing because there's a delay.
Yes.
So how are you doing these days? I mean, you're moving and you barely have internet connection, and there's this fantasy maybe that you're in the middle of the country and doing these animations, and you're far away from everyone. Is that true, or is just my imagination?
It's partially true. I mean, I live out in the middle of nowhere, not quite by choice, but by circumstance because my mother has a farm.
Oh,
And
nice.
I have a set up in my garage, which is really, really cold all winter, so I don't get much done in the winter.
Yeah, but
this is meant to be a temporary living situation, and it's gone on a little too long, which is why I'm now retraining, because I can't seem to get employment from here. I can't seem to find anyone to hire me, so I don't know. It's all a big mixed up mess, so my life is changing. But the creatures are sitting on the set waiting for me to have time to film them.
Great, that's great. So let's start a little bit. Let's go backwards a little bit. So you write, you paint, you animate. How did you start with the arts? What was your first crush in the arts? What was your first, approach?
Well, I've always made things from the time I could make anything. So, like little dolls and drawing. Kids. Almost all kids are artists. Some of us just stay that way. As far as the artists that started to excite me, I don't know. Jan Spankmeyer, of course, comes to mind. Frida Kahlo was kind of an inspiration in the paintings. I'm not such a fan of Edvard Munch now, though I do like Edvard Munch. When I was in high school, learning about him was really informative and helpful. It's funny how some of the artists that really strike you when you're, say, 16, 17, aren't necessarily the same ones that stay attached to.
Yeah, I know. Surrealism strikes you a lot when you're a teenager. I mean, it's really goes straight into your nerves and your senses, because it's really aggressive. It's very teenage-like in a way.
And I suppose just like MTV music videos and things in high school were pretty informative, exciting. I mean, I guess that's not what is MTV now. I haven't even watched it in probably a decade.
Yeah, I remember that during the early 90s, MTV was very creative concerning video, some music videos. Like, I don't know, maybe even the most commercial, like It Smells Like Teen Spirit, it was like very good, strange atmosphere. Maybe R.E.M. videos, or, well, maybe 9 Inch Nails. It was very Schwagmeyer in a way.
Yeah, but it was really just knowing I wanted to be an artist and escaping the small town I was in to go to San Francisco, where everything in the world opened up dramatically.
So basically, you're telling me that you grew up in that farm.
No, I grew up in a small town about an hour from the farm, this farm, so and I would come here. It was my grandparents' house, so I spent time here. But yeah, this is extremely remote. I'm more of a city type, city dweller type. It's been really tough out here.
I was wondering because I've seen. I mean, I've seen several. I read even some interviews that you've been through, and I don't think that none of them asked you this. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Possibly, but the thing is, maybe I'm going into a messy place. But why alone? Why doing all this alone? Why? I mean, whenever I do a short film, I do it on my own. I don't like being around people, but this is full length pictures.
Well, people need to be paid, and that's really the. I have people approach me asking to come to work because I guess my internet presence suggests that I'm in a different position than I am to, with a studio. I have a company in India that frequently sends me an email asking if I'd like them to do my movie for me. It's like, no, I can't do that. But I would like to have a crew. And the last film, though, I made some money on it. It's not the kind of profit venture where someone would actually say, "Oh, I could give you a bunch of money and earn it back." I'd need a philanthropist, I think, someone who didn't expect to make a lot of money back.
Yeah, but what about Kickstarter? I mean, that's. Do you know about Kickstarter and how this?
I raised $7,000 on Kickstarter to get started on my movie, but.
I barely knew about it.
I have fans all over the world, but it's not like big. I don't know if there's any big fan hotbeds. I think there are individual people around. Maybe many of them, maybe the only person amongst their peer group who likes my movie. But I don't know. I think I need a manager to.
Maybe some agent. Yeah, probably because there's this. When I was making this project about making this whole movie collection for this school I'm working this movie collection. I was choosing like the most important things because it's a very modern kind of school. So even for this place here in Buenos Aires, I figured out maybe the kids needed to know something that was more or less different. I was looking for the big different things. So these kids probably they're 18-year-olds, but probably they know nothing but Pixar, and so I decided to show them like Rough Bakshi, and so I interviewed a couple of actors from the Rough Bakshi movies, and they said, so I was wondering how much this impact on you, because there's been a lot of I mean, whenever I was showing this movie, Red Tea Blue String, Blue Tea Red String, there was a huge effect in all these movies that I was showing. Like why is not this thing around? Like this is very special. Whenever I was showing this movie to someone, there was this effect. I was like, why? I don't know about this. Why? Do you think about that in a way?
I do wonder why my distributor didn't get it farther out. I had a distributor for 5 years, and they did get it in Germany. I had a deal with a German distributor who it did show on German TV. So like in Germany, there's more awareness because it did show on a regular. It seemed like a network. EDF. I didn't quite sure how much a network, but. And it would have been really nice if they'd paid me what they owed me for it. It's, I don't know, my distributor kind of dropped out of the picture and still owes me money and statements.
Are you going into legal processes? Probably?
What?
Are you going to legal processes? Probably.
I don't know. I'm moving on in some ways. Life it had a kind of a big, issue of, it's hard to think of like, let's see, what do I say? There's going to be an audience, in an auditorium or wherever, a classroom watching this, and let's see, what do I say?
In the end, we're all living in small rooms, like old writers, crazy and drunk, and we're all Bukowskis at the end of the day. So
right.
We all know that.
I don't drink much anymore. I had my 20s, and now I'm not in them anymore. But
you look pretty young, though.
I became a mother, which was what I had hoped for, and I have a child, and her father, it didn't work out too well with him. So, that's kind of another reason to be out here. What I'm hoping maybe is seeking this architecture degree would be have some stability and employment, and then enough money to hire people to come help me on the weekends. And I don't know, it all makes sense every so often.
Have you tried maybe ad honorem? Maybe try to find people ad honorem just to help you, give you a hand just for free, because
I need to live in a city for that.
Yeah, but
I need to live in a city, but I can't have strangers just coming out to live in the middle of nowhere with me, because it's kind of I have a kid and it's kind of weird. So it'd be kind of weird.
I know.
So,
but
when I live in the city, so I've got to get the job, move back to the city, get myself set up. I am working. Yeah. Have you seen my blog recently?
Yeah, I've seen that you've been finishing some dresses. Very beautiful.
Yeah, the doll. No, the doll. Here, I'll show it to you. Here.
Oh.
Take it.
Show it to me, please.
Here we go.
Oh!
They get a little scale.
Yeah. So she's grown. She's been through changes. She's
done.
She's finished.
Really?
Oh, she looks amazing.
There we go. There's the. See how small that is?
Such a detail. Oh, it's beautiful. Congratulations. It's so beautiful. And the inner structure, I've seen that in the first movie, the inner structure was very simple, like wires.
Yeah.
Is it still like that, or is it just maybe just a little more because it's? I mean, looks really complex and really beautiful, but is it that simple on the inside?
Well, check out the blog, and
Oh yeah.
it's very similar to this.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Similar.
it's still very simple. Oh, it's a few. Oh, I want to read it.
He's next. He needs some skin. He needs some flesh and skin and fur. He's a little thin still.
The thing is, Christian, if I was living in Oregon and many people I know would live next to you, I mean, they would give you a hand for free.
Yeah.
Maybe you just need to spread the word just a little bit more, because
I think so.
yeah.
I just need to move to. If I live in LA, if I can get a job in LA or San Francisco, or
you could
a fellowship in a foreign country,
you could get the help of thousands of students, maybe for free, just because it's a big deal. Yeah, why not? Just spread the word. Well, I don't want to go. I mean, we've been already very, very deep into private matters. I don't want to expose you much.
I'm kind of an open book. I'm like a sort of private, sort of not. I don't know.
The thing is, do you feel related to the doll in a way?
Well, in 3 weeks, I will have 1 month to get some more film shot. So, or not film technically. I guess I still talk in the terms of film when it's actually pixels. But I have 45 seconds done of my movie out of maybe 80 minutes. So progress, I expect to make progress in the next few years, between terms, so we'll happen.
Do you feel related in a way, I mean, symbolically with this doll, in a way?
Yeah. I had a strange, have you ever read Vasilisa? It's a Russian folk tale with Baba Yaga in it, and the young girl who's...
Yeah, Baba Yaga.
Yeah. So Vasilisa is the name of the young girl, and her mother gives her, before her mother dies, she gives her a doll.
Yeah.
And then the doll, when she feeds the doll a little bit, the doll gives her advice. It's weird. I feel like I'm, like, someday when I pass, like, my daughter will have this strange doll that's exactly to her mother's proportions. First, the doll has some work to do first. I made this doll because I was going to do green screen kind of thing where I would blend with in the movie the doll comes in and, I mean the woman comes in and buries this gem, and then I realized that I don't have the budget to do green screen well, so I decided, I decided just to do animation and have her exact. Plus I really enjoyed making her. Sewing her hair got a little crazy because everywhere I went I was sewing hair into the scalp, because the scalp, I don't know how clear your camera is, but there's...
It looks pretty well.
See,
wow.
It's just individual threads.
I can see almost the roots.
Yeah, it's just sewn in.
Wow.
So it took like weeks.
Yeah, it looks, I mean, the roots of her hair looks like a little bit like yours.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy. I mean, whenever your daughter grows up and gets angry with you, she could make a voodoo doll from then. So.
Yeah. I refrained from putting my real hair in it. So. Yes.
I was wondering, so if you're working alone a lot, and working alone might affect the order of the creative process, because you become somehow, as a consequence, maybe less formal, because you don't rely on someone, or maybe you don't have to deal with someone else. So you found yourself probably working in a capricious way, or did you develop some sort of discipline?
I'm fairly disciplined, but sometimes I just wish that I had a PA who'd come to work at 9 a.m. and just so that I would have some accountability. oh wait, yes, I must make it to the studio before my PA gets here, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's tricky when you have too much free time and then you've got a kid and you've got to arrange for people to keep her busy because she's still a little young to be all alone for that many hours inside the house while I'm out in the garage. But this is the first one I've done really formal storyboards for. In my last film, I just kind of would have a bunch of little notes because I had little distractions during large chunks of time. So this one I needed to really, really be more clear on it before I started. So I can't waste a day on a scene I don't need,
Yeah, exactly.
So I've just put them all on little 3x5 cards so then I can keep adding scenes. So I think I've got 90 cards filled so far for the first set, and I've filmed maybe, how many have I done, like 8 or 9?
This transcendence that Lutti registering had in several countries, maybe in smaller groups, because it has a huge cult in a way in festivals, and because I discovered the movie, this film, like maybe 7 years ago in this independent. It was called Bafisi. I don't know. I know. It wasn't Bafisi. It was Buenos Aires Rojo Sangre, which means Buenos Aires
the red blood.
Buenos Aires Red Blood. So
I
just for the festival. Lutti.
Yeah, I think it's played at least 3 times in Argentina. I mean, Buenos Aires. Sorry, I mixed up between the city and the town. I mean, the city and the country. Sometimes when I'm speaking, but yeah, I think it's played like 3 times in Argentina.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he played a
But independent screenings that no one. I don't always hear about all the screenings. I find out about them. Like I didn't even know about the German TV screening because my distributor didn't tell me. It was a fan who told me that they'd seen my movie the day before. I was like, oh, that was kind of my distributor to let me know that my movie was playing in Germany.
So the thing is about these festivals, have all these things have affected you in terms of pressure or creative decisions for this second installment you're preparing?
Well, I felt a kind of panic, like I need to get it made before people forget entirely about Blood Tea and Red String. But then this is not a really good time right now to be working on a feature film every day, whereas say in 2 or 3 years, then things get up and it becomes easier.
I can hold for 7, 8 more years. I mean, you remember, I think.
Okay, just get an interview here and there. I just have a woman with a blog in India, right? She sent me some questions, so it's sneaking out there into the world. And in my architecture class, there's one girl sitting right next to me. She's like, "Oh, you made Blood Tea and Red String? I saw part of that in the design class." I'm like, "Oh," but she's the only one of 30 people who had ever heard of it. So it was. I'm under the cover there.
That movie. There's always, even if it's in a whole classroom or something like that, there's always someone who has seen that movie or knows about it, because it's quite a unique thing. So it's difficult to ignore it in a way. Yeah. So yeah. What else? The thing is, do you know already what's going to happen in the whole second and third installment, in the second and third chapter? And if you can you give me a little hint about the sequel?
I do have the script completed for the first one, so I know. Aside from changes that happen during production, I mean, I do have the story pretty well mapped out. The third one, I kind of know the beginning and the end, but the middle is more of a blur. Like I can kind of see the characters. I've got a sense of the sets, but I had to just let it grow in my mind and not. I mean, my to-do list is already long enough without writing the script for the third one yet. So let's see. the little white, so you're familiar with the appearance of the characters, right? The little white guys with the red beaks. Okay, so they live in this dead land, everything is dead, and they have preserves which they're surviving on. And so the doll woman comes and plants this gem in the ground, and it grows into a tree. A kind of strange tree with leaves with, well, here's the young tree. Let's see. It's the leaves are a little unusual.
What's the, is that one word? Just get to see it. Just
I don't know if you can focus on it. Here you go.
Is it a piece of one particular Gilbert himself in the forest?
It's from what?
I've seen the word forest, which is I think is very like appropriate.
Yeah, it's actually from Robin Hood, though I avoided pages that had his name on it, just to keep it more, I found a book at the thrift store for $1, and Robin Hood, it seemed like a good one, and there's lots of good, I love that kind of form of poetry that you can do with random words and then connecting them into new meanings, so I don't know, the Leafs do that a little.
So, the thing is, there's one thing that really struck me day by day, just the music. I found the music like very captivating. The music is always like, whenever I was thinking about you, about making this interview or something like that, there was always like this flute inside my head. This great music flows with the movie like really well. Were you involved in some way in the production, during the production of the movie, that like you wanted to sound it in some particular way because it works like too well, like it fits perfectly with the tone?
It was written for the movie by Mark Groudon. I had ideas for the feeling of it. I didn't know exactly what they would sound like, of course I'm not a musician. But I had certain feelings, and I conveyed everything I did know about it to him, and he went from there, and I would come and listen to his preliminary ideas, and most of them were right on, and we'd kind of discuss. Yeah, it was written. The movie was completely was all shot and edited before he stood in, so he had the final version to work with.
Yeah. Because it's I think is there a way to maybe, I mean, this is sort of unofficial release, because I could extract an MP3 of the movie, but is there some sort of unofficial release of this music?
Well, yes. Go to my website when you look for it. Go to littlemisscrow.com.
Yeah.
There's a link to it. You can buy the CD. I don't know if I have it for download, but I think it only works for the U.S. because it's through CreateSpace, and I'm not sure that you can download anything outside the U.S. I know my movie that I can't do instant download through them outside the U.S., but I'm not sure about the music. But if you have time, I guess I could. Oh, duh! I could email. Tell me what song you want, and I can email you a file of it.
So, even though like you're telling me that naturally, being an independent filmmaker as an animator, you're in the struggle, in a constant struggle. This is a very, I know it, you know it. It's a very, but still, you've done a tremendous amount of work, and but the thing is that this video, as you know, is going to be shown to students. It's going to be edited, of course, and just to hear a little less of my babblings and my hesitations, and making me look smarter, and maybe,
Yes.
But yeah, the thing is, would you give us a little bit of your wisdom concerning the creation of full-length animation? Is there an advice? Do you consider is there advice for making full-length movies?
It helps to not truly know what you're getting yourself into. Because if you really know what you're getting started on, you might be afraid.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Just start.
Yeah, just do it and
And make sure you have another marketable skill unrelated to animation, so that you can do that while you're making your own movie. The first 6 years of work on the movie, wait, how many years? Oh no, not 6. Yeah, 6 years. I did temp secretarial, and I worked in restaurants and retail, and 30 hours a week here and full time here and there. So it wasn't until the second part when I had more of a career, and most of the movie was shot by then, so I didn't have that much left to do. So I shot about, by the time most of the time was spent trying to get finishing funds. Once I had I shot about, what was it, 10 more minutes, maybe 10 minutes of it, and then the next few years we're just trying to find a musician and finish editing, those kind of things. But yeah, 2002 was the last actual filming done. Even though 2005 is the end of 2005 is the completion date.
I mean, you're very young. I mean, how old were you when you started with the I mean, I was thinking like, was she 12 or what?
I stay out of the sun.
But
if you just don't do math.
Okay, I won't. But yeah, but just to tell you, I'm holding on. I can wait whatever it takes you. I'll be waiting for the second movie. Okay. And whatever happens, I'll be running and screaming and telling everyone. Okay.
Well, I'm hoping to. I need to shoot a couple more shots to finish one segment that I plan on putting online. Hopefully, it'll either be in mid-September or in December, depending on if I can finish before my next term starts, because architecture master is crazy. This is my first break in a month. And since we're done here, I need to run down and do all the little housekeeping things that one needs to do on a break.
But well, best of luck. Just thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me just this time. I know it's you don't have time at all, because the thing is, the sort of negotiations with time we had for the past 2 weeks, I realized that you really don't have time. So thank you a lot. Okay.
Well, thank you for your interest for helping to spread the word.
Well, whenever I realize that if you give me a sign that you're maybe a little bit more free, I'll be bothering you again if you allow me.
Okay.
So see you soon, and good luck. See you soon, and thanks a lot. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. See you soon. Bye. Bye, Christiane.